Ladies and gentlemen, you and I both like to win games of chess. It makes us feel intelligent, powerful, sophisticated, creative, and other adjectives. But winning a game of chess and sacrificing your queen for a forced checkmate against somebody significantly higher rated than you, well, what more can we ask for? And on top of that, doing it against a superstar chess prodigy who is taking over the world of chess right now. Maybe that happens to me more than it does to you. In this video, I'll be showing you the game that I played against 15-year-old Sina Movahed. Yes, the superstar from Iran, whose name is literally Seeing a Move Ahead. I was paired against him in a tournament on chess.com, and you will see what happened toward the end of this incredible back and forth game. When we got paired, I already saw the YouTube video in my future. I had to lock in. His rating is 3,266. I mean, this doesn't even look real. He was the highest rated player in the entire tournament. I think Magnus and Hikaru were not playing that day, but still. And I got paired against them. And what did I do? I played my favorite opening, an opening that you have probably seen me play dozens of times. But if this is one of the earlier videos you are watching, I like to play d4 knight f6. And when this knight comes out, I like to target it with my dark squared bishop. And I like to take, damaging my opponent's pawn structure before they get to push one of their pawns forward, replace my dark squares with pawns, and go on to have a very good game. But sometimes they like to jump the knight into the middle. They like to counter me, all right? And now my bishop is under attack. Moving the bishop to f4 is totally reasonable, but modern day analysis has shown that my favorite move in this position, which is to defend my bishop with my h-pawn, is a totally reasonable move. The point is that normally a knight for a bishop is a good trade for the person that is getting the bishop, especially particularly this early in the game. Here it's just bad though, because I just get to run out my my rook on the h-file with a potentially very good game. So my opponent went d5, okay? He did not take my my dark squared bishop, and so wants to just develop with something like bishop to f5. I played the move e3, a flexible move. I want to target his knight with my bishop. I'm also not committing my knights yet. Let's just trying to see what's going to happen. And here Sina plays bishop f5. Now, bishop f5 is actually not a good move. It's not a good move because it will walk directly into the second plan that I have of pushing my h-pawn. Since I'm already what they call pot committed, a poker term, I would like to continue to push these pawns because I've already committed to moving this pawn. And actually here, one of the better moves is to just start immediately attacking like this, right? To start playing for g4. Point is, if the bishop goes back to g6, in a lot of positions, it's risking getting trapped. So he actually plays bishop to d7. And as we see here, I'm clearly just like bulldozing forward. I've had people end up castling on this side of the board, and that walks directly into my attack. But the most accurate move in this position is actually to move my bishop back to f4. Because when I move my bishop back to f4, I don't allow his knight to take it anymore, and then I can continue with the move pawn to f3. I would like to play f3 so that I just get all my pawns going together. But I can't play f3 right now for two reasons. Obviously, the easy move is knight takes, but also there's knight g3, which is very unpleasant. And then I would lose one of these two pieces, and black would just be very comfortable. I develop my bishop, which is not an accurate move, apparently. Apparently, I was supposed to move this bishop back. Sina plays the most principled move, pawn to c5, and he actually hits me with an opening trap that I have never seen before. I don't think I've ever gotten hit by something like this. I know in positions like this, you take the knight, you develop this knight, you push, and then you try to castle queenside. He hits me with a 3260 elo maneuver here. I shove my pawn forward, and Sina, cool, calm, collected. Looks like he can't develop his pawn or his bishop. Can't go here. Queen c8. And I was just sitting there like, oh my god, I'm losing a pawn. Like, this pawn that I used to attack his bishop, he just sidesteps with the queen, and he's just going to win my pawn. I'm like, how am I losing a pawn in 8 moves? That's embarrassing. Which is why, instead of going for bishop d3, I had to play bishop here and f3. And I will learn this for next time. I learned it the hard way. So I'm already just, you know, in a bad position against somebody whose rating is nearly 3,300, and who's just got 10.5 out of 11 in a tournament. He beat Magnus Carlsen, no pressure. So I'm thinking, okay, I have two options here. panic from the opening and lose immediately, or go on to play one of the best games that I've played in years. And I chose the second path. So, understanding that he's going to win my pawn and attack my queen, I'm like, since he's going to lose time doing this, he's going to have to move his pieces multiple times, I need to develop as many pieces as I can. So I develop my knight, he takes my pawn, and now, rather than developing my queen, well, really just moving it out of the way or blocking like this, I played the move f3. And the reason I played f3 is that if he takes me, which is obviously the best move, I get a knight into the game. So now I have 3 pieces developed. My next moves are pretty easy. Queen e2 and one of these moves, either castling or queen e2 and then defending myself first and then castling, or maybe queen e2 and moving my e-pawn forward. I sense that even though he was winning a pawn, the fact that all his pieces are on his last rank, it goes for something. So we got to this position. I thought maybe if he rushes with queen f5, it's very easy. I just defend myself. He played knight d7. His idea was to play knight to e5, applying more pressure to my position. So now, naturally, I slid my bishop back to the f4 square. And after spending a little bit of time here, Sina played a6. And I started realizing even here, my position is much more dangerous than it looks. I'm threatening knight to b5 and knight to c7. So he has to spend a moment here preventing me from jumping into his position. But now, for just the cost of a pawn, I can quickly develop long castle, use my e-pawn, use my rook, and okay, I'm down a pawn against clearly a player who is much stronger than me, but maybe the position isn't everything as it seems. And one more thing is, I gotta keep even on time. So 209 to 217, I'm thinking, all right, I'm in a pretty good situation. Like, let's keep the momentum. He goes g6, and it's quite clear he's just trying to develop his bishop over here, but this is going to be a really big problem should I try to castle my king this way. I mean, his bishop is going to be not only protecting his king, it's going to be targeting my king when I go that way. But I don't really have a choice, to be honest with you. I thought about going rook g1 here. I thought about maybe sacrificing another pawn. I thought something, but I'm like, look, I'm committed. I said, I need to get all my pieces out. I'm down a pawn, so to counterbalance being down a pawn, you have to have something. You either have to have a safer king, more development, time advantage, something. So all I can say is I have a little bit more development. Now, he is looking to take my knight. I don't like that very much. Of course, I can play something like rook g1. I didn't really see the benefit because after he goes pawn to h5, the whole side of the board gets locked. I thought, well, if he takes my knight, my king is going to be open for potential counterattack in the future. I thought, wait, why don't I move the knight? Because I was thinking, Sina's probably going to castle this way. If Sina goes that way, then I'm going to have to move my knight in over here and maybe create some sort of attack, and this way he's not going to be able to take. So I went knight e4. Honestly, I thought knight e4 was a pretty reasonable move. The computer hates it, but you're going to see very quickly, it's not really clear why the computer hates it. I'm trying to bring my knight over to this side of the board and maybe advance with my h-pawn, and he meets me. He's trying to trade off his knight from my knight, maintain the diagonal pressure, and as you can see, the evaluation is not as simple as it seems. The best move was knight to b6, which is not a very easy move to play. Knight to b6 kind of gets in the way of the b-pawn. You're not threatening to actually move forward. Knight on a4, I suppose, does make sense, but knight b6 was the best move. He goes knight here. And obviously, I could trade, but instead of trading, I move my knight back to g3 with the intention to just be on this side of the board, maybe play e4, e5, maybe play for h5. I thought that I was doing a decent job keeping the tension here, and evidently so did he, because he played queen d7, which really did not strike much fear into my heart. Queen d7 looked like he's trying to zip over to this side of the board to pose me some problems, but I was very unintimidated. I mean, I'm just going to go king b1. Like, I would just be defending myself. I could also maybe play my pawn to a3. So at this point, it felt like I was working my way back into the game. But how are we going to sacrifice a queen to deliver a checkmate? Like, where is that, right? So I played e4, which is the best move. e4 is the best move because as I already said in the beginning of the game, like, I have to figure out something. I have to continue to improve my position, continue to pose problems. This is a good move because it kind of defends everything in my position. I maybe create a little bit more mobility for my queen. I create the possibility to create. All right, so we're just going to pause there because clearly I'm a little bit too stupid right now to be providing you any sort of eloquent commentary. I'm going to take a sip of water and reset. I'm creating some attacking chances in the center of the board, but Sina goes here. This is a really good move. Really good move. And the point is that if I take, I mean, I thought he was just going to take with a bishop, and this felt terrible to me. I don't have a way through in this position at all. So rather than doing anything over there, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give him my bishop. I did this on purpose. I voluntarily gave him the 2 bishops. I was like, he takes my bishop, I take, but at least I preserve options to continue to attack on the side of the board. And he believed me. He didn't like the fact that I would take like this, have both my horses here, and so he took this knight and then went in with his queen. So he's still pressuring my knight and my rook. He's obviously got nasty ideas with his bishop. He's attacking me over here, and he has a time advantage. That's actually the worst part. The fact that he, in this position, has a 30-second time advantage, basically. That is a ton of time. So now I have to play faster. And if I'm going to play faster against a 32-66 rated player, there is a higher chance that I make a mistake. So I go A3. And he plays H5. Now I got a minute and 10 seconds to figure things out here. Obviously, the idea of H5 not only locks the position, the bishop now has access to this square because it would be protected, and he would be attacking my queen, and my king would be on the same line. I can play king b1, I can block the pin, I can also bring my bishop back into the game. I liked bishop f4 for several reasons. Bishop f4 prevents bishop h6 completely. It also reopens the g file for potential sacrificing ideas, right? And also, you know, maybe I defend a little bit more squares over there. I like this coordination. And now he castled. So here we go. We have to play this position, minute and 7 versus minute 26. Obviously, with opposite side castling, there are far more attacking possibilities, but I'm not really able to use my pawns. But I still play rook g1. I mean, it has to be said, playing this move, even though this is protected, is always an idea. Now, what do I want? How am I thinking of conjuring up an attack here? Well, you would love to conjure up an attack with your pawns. That's not possible right now. E5 is theoretically possible, but I don't know what's going to happen after that. D6 is also theoretically possible, but the king is over here. So the next thing you look at is, how do I get my pieces into the game? Well, you want to be able to move your knight. You also probably want to trade off the dark square bishop and then infiltrate with your queen. Like if the bishops were not on the board, I would play queen h6, knight g5, checkmate. That's not going to happen though. You also want to sack the rook. I mean, you are Gotham Chess, but the benefit of sacking the rook is you unpin yourself, you re-enable the mobility of your knight, and your pawn now begins mobility on the h-file. And if you can sack the pawn to open the king, that is always something you're looking at. He plays queen b5, creating an attack on b2. I play c3. I spent way too much time on this move. 20 seconds is an insane amount of time to spend. The thing is, I was calculating, can I just sack? Like, can I play knight e5 and just give this rook up? But I went c3, and he went rook e8. He also spent a lot of time here. Already, I'm back in the game. The evaluation has gone from -1.1, -1.5, -2 at times, to 0 if I just go bishop h6. But now, I uncork what I'm known for. We might get a potential queen sacrifice in this game and a rook sacrifice. That's what I did. I sacrificed the rook. Rook takes g4. And now, this side of the board, black has no active pieces. None. His queen is good, but his queen's trying to attack. But it can't attack. It has no support. And after I played the move knight e5, I sat looking at the position like, I don't know what his next move is. I know what my next move is. My next move is knight takes pawn, bringing my rook over here, and just, like, attacking him with my bishop. Like, it's just a question of, does my knight go there? Does my bishop go there? Does my knight go back? Does my bishop go back? Does my queen try to infiltrate this way? Do I bring my rook, or do I wait? Do I bring my rook to h1? Do I play h5? Which is not, I mean, you don't have enough time to calculate all of the nuances with 30 seconds on the clock. You have to go with your gut. Then you're looking at, like, is he going to counterattack me with a pawn? Is he going to try to sneak in here with a queen? The top computer move here for black is unfindable in blitz. Like, if your opponent plays this move in blitz, they are cheating. I'm not even sure Magnus and Hikaru playing on a tag team would figure out the move here for black. It's not findable. The move is a5. That's the top move of the computer. And you look at a5, you go, well, you're trying to create counterplay, I guess? No, you're trying to bring this rook to a6, where it would defend the entire 6th rank. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, I saw that move. Yeah, you saw a5 because you are able to see legal moves. You did not see rook a6. No, none of you did. And I know you like to lie to yourselves in the comment section. I see it all the time. Oh, stop saying I would never find this move. Stop belittling your viewers. Stop lying to yourself. Honestly, I'm doing you a favor by teaching you to think like this. But It's fine. You can continue to do whatever you like. If he played a5 here, I would have like lost my mind. No, he played rook d8, which I thought was a very natural move, and I quickly took his pawn. Now we have the same amount of time. I have caught up in time to one of the world's brightest prodigies. His rating is 3,300. I'm thinking the sky's the limit here. I'm just going to create an attack. Now I have a winning position. Out of nowhere, I have a winning position. He goes to attack my knight, right? And I bring my rook. The attack is upon us. My heart is beating out of my chest. I think my heart rate at this point is like 120, 130. He goes e6. Something about this move tickles me the wrong way. I'm like, there is no chance this is a good move. There is no chance. But of course, the idea is he's striking my center. Why do I think it's not a good move? The dark squares just feel really weak. Now, apparently here, very calm bishop e5 is the solution. That's the solution, right? The point is that I literally just take with the knight, and then I attack his queen, and that's the way to go. I really want to play this move, though, so I'm looking at bishop h6 ideas. I'm looking at bishop g5 and bishop f6. I want to do this little two-move combo. I'm thinking bishop g5, jump in with my knight, take, get my queen in. Maybe h5 is a good move, and I don't play the best move. I play bishop g5. It is the best move, if not for his response. He doesn't have to acknowledge my threat at all. He takes in the center. He's just ready to give up his rook completely, but I don't want his rook. I play knight f6 check. And bishop takes. Now I'm threatening e5 and queen h6. And we are just moments away from checkmating one of the highest rated prodigies on the planet. He plays king h7. King h7 stops queen h6 ideas, but I'm not going to take his rook at all. And now, feeling the moment, I play h5, which is the top move of the computer. The idea of h5 is very straightforward. If he takes, I play rook g7 and queen h6. If he doesn't take, I'm thinking pawn takes, and the h file opens up. I have queen h3 ideas. I have rook h1 ideas. Where is the mate? Now, all of that takes place. He plays rook e4, attacking my queen. I play takes, rook h1, king g8, queen h6. I get in with my queen. He goes king f7. I give him a check, king e6. What? I did everything. I ripped open the position. I went in against this king. I'm taking his pawn. I mean, it's over. Any bishop move is winning. By the way, the bishop could have taken the rook at any point. So now I'm just threatening to win. And all of a sudden he goes queen e8. And I'm panicking. I'm like, wait a minute. My queen is targeted. I can't take his rook now. Now I have to go here. Suddenly, even though I'm going to check him a million times, we're just in an equal queen endgame. And Sina Movahed, the only chance that he has in this game is to beat me on time. The only chance. He has 9 seconds. I have 3. I have 3 seconds. I have no chance to win this game. It's a winning queen and pawn endgame. Because ultimately, I'm just going to take his pawns, which is what's about to happen, and this is winning. I am winning in this position. It's just a winning endgame, but I have half of 1 second. And so what ends up happening is I'm trying to pre-move, and he beats me on time. I lose the game on time. So what happened? Wasn't I supposed to win this game? Let's go back to the move h5. h5 was correct. Everything that I did, hunting his king down, it looked totally natural, right? In this position, my queen's hanging. So maybe queen g5 is possible. But then he goes queen f5. But yeah, queen g5 is the winning move here because I double attack the rook and then I would go queen g6. So his best move here is something like this. And now I would just go a bishop up in a rook endgame, and that's the way I would win. But I missed something really gross. In this position, everything I had done up to this point was correct. Right here, getting my bishop in, he stops queen h6, I reopen the h file. In this position, I could have played queen h6 anyway. That is disgusting. Queen h6 threatens the king. If he doesn't take, I just go here, and with my queen and my rook, deliver a mate on the next move. If he does take on h6, this is a tactic that we call attraction. You play queen h6 and you attract the king like a magnet to the h6 square, where the bishop, like a king and rook checkmate, covers the escape squares. The pawn also covers the escape square. So the king is walled in, and rook h1 is mate. Black can only stop it by giving up the queen and the rook. Those are performative defenses, And this is a checkmate on the edge of the board. If I played queen h6, I would have printed this game out and hung it on the wall. Honestly, the whole story of this game was awesome because I screwed up in the opening and I was just a pawn down, but instead of getting negative, I tried to play logically. He wastes a little bit of time winning my pawn. I get all my pieces into the game, right? I keep a kind of a tension and a nervous energy near his position, and then I sack, and I play the position to my strengths anyway, which is attacking chess. Rook g1, knight g4, h5, and I mean, I can't believe it. I straight up built up a beautiful attack against one of the best players in the world right now. And I had him mated. I literally had M in the evaluation. It was a BMW model. And I didn't play queen h6. I mean, to find this move in a scramble with 20 seconds when you're just trying to play fast. I mean, I played the move rook h1 in 1.9 seconds. Like, what else can you play? Well, an even better move was queen g3. Right? Queen g3 with the idea to go for this, and obviously if he goes queen f5, I have queen h2, and this is how we would be getting, you know, the king mercilessly hunted across the board, something like this. And even this is apparently still not the best. In this position, you would need to play rook h1. It's just ladder mate. Queen h6 would have been incredible. It would have been absolutely beautiful. I was this close, but I lost. I didn't even draw the game. I lost it. That's how it goes sometimes, but almost. Queen h6. I'll remember that one. This is how Magnus Carlsen won a world championship once. You thought we were going to get through the video without a Magnus mention. We did mention him once, but he won the world championship with queen h6. But, yeah. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you enjoyed a little bit of lessons of how to fight back from a bad position in the opening. Attack, opposite side castling, and so on. That's all I have for you today. You know where to find me. I've got books. I've got my educational platform, Chessly. I have chess for babies, if you're a baby watching this right now. And I'll see you in the next video. Get out of here.